welcome back to another edition of the Diggie A2 podcast show. This has been just a crazy week. Lots of shout outs to all of our fans, followers, supporters, and as you all can tell, I have a special guest in the studio with me today. This is Mr. and Mrs. We Fit Sports, aka Ashton and Tyrone. Weaver's in the house. Weaver's in the house. They are here. Hey, check it out, y'all. They got a really good podcast out there that I need y'all to listen to. It's called It's Necessary. It drops every Friday. Support them. They are giving the good word out there if you all need a pickup or any kind of thing to get you uplifted. I listen to it every single Friday, so I love their show. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Love to see and hear them and their journey and talk about that in a lot of their podcasts. So some of y'all need what they're talking about for real. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the illustrious Ice Cube. Real name O'Shea Jackson. Yes, the Junior is the son. He's 29 years old, and he played him in the movie Boys in the Hood. it was NWA Niggas with Attitude. So, but for now, we're going to be focusing on Ice Cube in the years of 1990 to 1994, which is the period of the shift, and he did a lot of work in this period of 5 years. So I'm going to roll down some accolades for you all to read. So Ice Cube is a one-time Image Award winner. He's also a one-time I Am Hip Hop Award in 2009. He won the Quincy Jones Award in 2005 at the BET Awards for Entertainer of the Year. And he also, in 2014, won a BET Excellence Award at the BET Honors. So he's done a lot of stuff for the culture. He's done a bunch of movies, you guys. Oh my God. This man has done so many movies. He's got a star in the Walk of Hall of Fame in 2017. The movies are endless. Boys in the Hood, Barbershop, Friday, oh my God, Players Club, All About the Benjamins, the Ride Along series. I love Ride Along 2. Oh my God, I love Ride Along 2. Net worth is around $160 million, yo. This man is paid. So don't big bank take little bank. You know what I mean? Yeah, yo. So he coined that phrase later, which actually used in hip hop years later, actually. So which is really cool. So paying homage to that, but. We're going to focus on his period in the early 90s. So he dropped, looks like 5 albums in the 90s. Well, 4 albums and 1 EP. The first 2 albums went 5 mics from the Source magazine. He's the only hip-hop artist to have his first 2 debut albums receive 5 mics from the Source, which is the gold standard at that time in hip-hop. So America's Most Wanted dropped in May of 1990, which was a platinum album. Then he had Death Certificate in October 1991, which is also a platinum album. Both albums received 5 mics from the Source magazine. Actually, the first one got it when it first came out. The second one received 4.5 when it came out. Then the Source went back and gave them 5 mics later on. Then there was a Predator, which is the most famous album, which actually gave him a lot of praise. My favorite album is a Predator, of course, which had Today Was a Good Day. It had, let me think, The Wicked. Yeah, The Wicked was on there. And Check Yourself was on there with the remix with Das Effect. So that's my favorite joint from Ice Cube. And actually, we'll talk about that a little bit when we get into our discussion about Ice Cube, because that album came out when the LA riots dropped. So that was a very significant time in our history. So we'll talk about that and the significance of that dropping during that time. And then the last one, Lethal Injection, came out in December of 1993, which didn't get a lot of praise from critics, and that's kind of where what I would feel that Ice Cube kind of went on a hiatus, and then he went on to do movies and things like that. But I still love, You Know How We Do It. That remix is so smooth, and I love What Can I Do, the East Coast version of that song. So it's a very deep song, and he talks about going through strife as a black man. At the end of the song, he talks about all of the offenses that we as black people would have been offended with that the white man got away with. He talked about that at the very end of the song. So it's really significant to the hip hop culture. So with all that aside, you guys, I know I got all that stuff out the way. We can jump into our discussion here. But the first question I have is for Tyrone, Mr. We Fit Sports. And of course, every new guest that comes on the Diggie A2 will get asked a question: when or how did you fall in love with hip hop?
Early, man. My uncles, man, were huge Cube fans and just hip hop fans. You know, when I was born, they really took us, when we used to ride with them all the time. My uncle had a T-top Cutlass.
Oh, that's what's up.
So he would take the top off, man, and be riding, just playing Cube and all those guys, man. So I loved the culture back then, you know, because I seen everything they were talking about in my community. So I loved it, and I fell in love with it early, man, because we had it's multiple men in my family. So we listen to music all the time. That's all we did. We play basketball, listen to music. So
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah, so appreciate you guys being on the show today. Oh man, like it's such a blessing to have y'all here. Happy birthday, early birthday, my brother.
Appreciate it.
We're gonna pour one up for you while you're here, man. We're gonna pour one up for him. Y'all pour one up for my boy. Take a shot for him. You listening or watching this
32.
week. Yeah, man. Like it's a blessing. Many blessings going around to be handed out to everybody. And they talk a lot about in their podcast, you guys, about the inner circle and people around them having positive energy. And I can't think of another more positive person from myself aside from Tyrone and Ashton. So they are really, really getting it. And I'm really humbled to have y'all in here with us
Appreciate
today,
it, man.
So
It's a blessing.
let's jump into Ice Cube, right? So Ashton, the lady in the building, gets the first question, all right? So
Sure.
Ashton, from your listening to Ice Cube this week, what were some of the songs that you either identified with or resonated with from the previous week?
All of them.
All of them. Just give me all of them,
No,
right?
really, I think that, everything that he says, it just resonates with me, just being from the hood, being
Yeah.
black, being a young, aspiring black person, So, let me see, from America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, let's see. Oh, give me the notes here, babe.
Breaking out the notes. That's what I'm talking about.
I had one good song. Everything that he has come out with was before my time. So
Oh, well, that's all
before
right.
I was born. But
It's all
I did
good.
go back and listen.
It's all good.
And
It's all
so,
good. Appreciate that.
The one they love to hate. Okay, that was a good one.
The blank they love to hate.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
She loved that one. She did like that one, for
Got
sure.
you. I like that one too, actually. I resonated with that one a lot because he talks about, hey, this is who I am. I'm not compromising. And on top of that, what he does in that song is he showcases who he is. Like he does. That's what I love about Cube is that he doesn't compromise who he is for nobody.
Right.
Like this is me authentically. And what he also was doing, as you mentioned, telling, like, in a sense, tales from the hood a little bit too. Like he's just, giving you a bird's eye view or eyewitness view of what's going on in his community, what's going on in Compton. And it's really, really eye-opening, which is one of the reasons why the first two albums got 5 mics from the source, because he was talking about social issues, talking about injustices going around him, police brutality,
Yes.
all kinds of things that are going on. And guess what's going on in 2020?
Same thing.
Same old damn thing.
It's a cycle,
It's
man.
just it's a cycle that we cannot seem to break as black people. I just don't understand it. But we're talking about those same things in the early 90s. But let's talk about the sound of the two albums, right? So the first album was produced by the Bomb Squad, who produced Public Enemy. And then he came up with a second album, which was Death Certificate, which has the same kind of messaging, but a different sound. So the first album was more East Coast. The second album was more West Coast sound more to its roots. So Tyrone, what are some of the things you found with the comparison between those first two albums?
I just like how he painted the picture from both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he showed, especially in Colorblind. You know what I mean? He definitely painted pictures and he let people know on both sides. Like, look, I can do it on the East and the West.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's a mastermind at telling stories, man, and he can touch any individual anywhere. So it's a blessing, man, to be able to listen to Cube because, like you said, everything's coming back, and it was like I didn't realize then that it's the same thing that he's talking about, bro, and it's kind of scary in a little bit. You know, it's crazy.
It makes you think. What are some of the things I heard about Cube talking about this past week? We got some of the younger rappers, talking about, here in 2020, you got Lil Baby talking about things. We have, the Baby, all the big time rappers now are talking about social injustices that are going on. So I like that. But the difference is, here's the difference. So Lil Baby and the Baby, here's the difference. The difference is Ice Cube, really he didn't care how many records he sold.
Right.
He didn't care about who liked him. He didn't care about who listened to him. He was raw and authentic. And I think that's one of the pieces, the small little pieces, me as a fan of hip hop, that misses from hip hop. Like there's not so much people chasing after the bag, chasing after getting money, and not staying true to the art form, right? It's staying true to the art form. So it's kind of gotten lost over the last few years, and it's sad, but that's why we're here now, to make sure that everybody remembers what real hip hop is and what it's about. And Ice Cube is definitely one of those staples in the West Coast. So, so going back to the couple of songs that I like, I like Check Yourself. I like How We Do It remix, was real smooth. He's driving it
Smooth.
and he's driving it in Vegas, and it's shot real cool. But one of the messages one of his most famous songs actually is No Vaseline. So No Vaseline actually before we all got on, we actually listened to before we started taping.
Fire.
And we were just like, wow, man, like he was really mad about, NWA taking little pop shots at him and stuff, you know what I mean? So what do you all think about No Vaseline when you heard that? What do you think about that track?
First of all, when you hear No Vaseline, you automatically think
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You think fire, like he's going in. Like, I mean, he really went at him, and it's like you said earlier, bro. That's the top diss song for me ever. Like he went all the way in. He didn't care about no feelings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He like, you gonna come for me? I'm gonna hurt you harder than you hurt me.
Yeah.
He did that exactly that.
Yeah, he did that. Ashton, what do you think? No Vaseline.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I just heard it. Actually, I've heard it before, but the title it caught me off guard. But no, I remember the song, and I'm like, okay. No, yeah, he definitely one of the most top diss tracks of all time that I've ever heard. So yeah, he got him with that one.
Yeah, and then to go along with that, No Vaseline. A lot of people in the hip hop community consider No Vaseline the biggest or the best diss record on wax. So he gets a lot of credit for that. I think there's a couple other ones out there that are a little bit more polished, but it sounds good too, right? When you listen to it, you're like, this is funky, right? It's real funky. You're like, damn, okay, like this is cold. So he went back at NWA at the time, or actually really Eazy-E, because Eazy-E was really like taking shots at him and stuff like that. But before Easy passed, he was able to squash the beef.
Yes, 2 months before he passed.
Yeah, so that was good to see that.
Man.
You know what I mean? How like we as people can have our differences, hash them out, and then later on down the road we can patch things up. So that was good to see that. But in that time
always
frame,
be out there though.
yeah, it's always out there, right? Like it ain't never going nowhere. You know what I mean? Like once it's recorded, it's out there. But so then we fast forward from No Vaseline or the Death Certificate album to The Predator, which is one of my favorite albums. So I want to talk about The Predator for a little bit because The Predator was when he did The Wicked, Today's a Good Day, and Check Yourself. And actually, what's ironic about that album is it came out during the LA riots. So I can remember, watching LA riots, at that time and not really knowing what's kind of going on, but knowing it was bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like watching on TV, knowing something bad is happening, but I couldn't really connect with it. And then, years down the road, as I started to get older and started to, experience things for myself, it's like, oh, wow, man. Like, okay, well, that's what he was talking about.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so it kind of like hit home for me later on down the road. But for the LA riots, and not really for that specific topic, but there was rioting because, the cops that beat down Rodney King, they got off, right? So it's wow, that sparked the riots. And so my question to you guys is when it comes to social injustice, it still hasn't changed much. We're talking 20, 30 years back, and it's still the same things happening. So what are some of the things that you all think that we can either do as people, or what can we do to change the narrative, or change how we are looked or portrayed in the community?
I think, man, listen, I think when it comes to social injustice, this is something that has been happening for years and years before us. But now I think with the culture and the generation now, like we're at the point where we're like, it's going to end one way or the other. Like, I think we're standing up for ourselves. I think we're not taking it anymore. And I think we're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
We got people in platforms that are pushing the narrative of change and put like LeBron James and those guys like that. Even Cube tried, he tried, but I think we got those people in those places in these platforms like what we're doing that's speaking this into the younger generation, and we're just demanding change. We're not taking it anymore. So it's a blessing to be a part of this right now, seriously.
It is. And one of the things that I remember with Ice Cube when he was doing movie, I mean, he's done so much successful things. So, I mean, like, we can talk about Cube pretty much for a whole hour, right? But we got like 20, 25 minutes. We don't want to keep our audience waiting. But one of the things that I resonate with Cube is he always went back. Like, it always seemed like whenever he made it to a certain point in his career, he went back and got his homies. And so you think of Friday and Next Friday and Mike Epps when he started his career off, giving people opportunities. And, like, we're not doing that no more, yo. You know what I mean? Like, we're not getting to a plateau where we turn around and say, yo, I made it. Let me help my brothers get up there with me. You know what I mean? Like, we don't do that no more. But hopefully with things like this, with this platform, that we can bless others. And that is one of the reasons why I got involved in doing, podcasting to begin with, was one, to educate with hip hop knowledge, and two, to give something back, to have a platform for people to come on here like you guys and plug your stuff. Anybody else want to come on here and plug their stuff, and also pay homage to the person that we're talking about as well too. So we
were just talking about that. Sorry to cut you off. We were just talking about that earlier today, as far as reaching back and helping, the people that look for us as direction. Like, we're still growing and learning ourselves.
Yeah.
So, but we do have those people that are like, hey, you guys are, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying, man.
It's so important because I think everybody before us, the generation before you, reached back, pulled y'all up.
Yeah.
The generation before me reached back, pulled us up. And I think the millennials, we got to do a better job.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why we're millennials and we're rooting for everybody behind us. Like, my job, like you pulling me up, I need to reach back. You pull me up, hey, we all locking hands and we pulling each other up. So
it's got to be like that. But that's one of the things that resonate with Cube. When he made movies, all black cast. Mostly when if he's involved in a movie, you're gonna see some black faces on the movie with him. Like, I just think that's so genius, and being able to get to a certain point in your career and like, okay, well, now let my son, his son played him in the movie, portraying him, right? You're like, wow, like it looked just like him too. Like, it's crazy, man.
I read something on there too that said that he almost didn't get the piece, the funding, so he had to like audition for it. He didn't just hand it to him. He really had to audition and
that's fathering,
show his work.
That's a fathering him. Yeah, you're not gonna hand you nothing just because you Ice Cube's son. You're gonna audition like everybody else did and earn it the right way. So, all right, so close out this session. I got one last question, and we'll close things out. So, Miss Ashton.
Yes.
If you could pick one song for your boys to listen to and say, yo, I want you to know about Ice Cube and his legacy, what one song would you pick?
There's so many. I really do like Today Was a Good Day.
Okay.
That's just, it resonates with me. Just going about, his day, daily things that, we do as everyday people. So I like that song personally. So.
Yeah. Okay. Same question.
For me, I'm going to go a little bit further into the 2000s.
Okay.
I know we're talking about the early 90s, but War and Peace Volume 2, man, he had a song, Until We're Rich.
Okay.
And he's telling these young men, like, health is wealth. Change your mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important. Like, if you ain't heard it, go listen to it. It's a good song.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's flipping the narrative. You know what I'm saying?
He is. I like that one, too. And the one that I would pick out, it's probably from the first album, and it's I want to say it's in the very beginning of the album. It was the You Love to Hate, that one. But in that record though, he says a line in there that I keep hearing in my head for the past week. He said, "Why is there more black folks in jail than in college?"
In college.
You know what I mean? Like, I heard that for the first time, and I was like, wow, like that's still like that now in 2020. We still can't get it together as a people. We still got more black men in jail than in college. We gotta change that narrative. I don't know what generation is gonna flip that, but we got some work to do. So, with all that being said, we're gonna start wrapping things up. Man, it's been a great show. This is Thanksgiving week, you guys. So when you guys are watching this next well, I guess it'd be for you all. For us, it's gonna be next week. But when you all watch this on Tuesday, it's gonna be Thanksgiving week, and it's time to be thankful and count our blessings and who your shout outs going to. Actually, before we get to that, we're going to put our hoods on for a hooded salute for Trayvon Martin. Yes. And matter of fact, my boy Tyrone brought me a one-of-a-kind hoodie, man. I'm going to throw that out there, you know, you ain't going to get these nowhere else, you know what I mean? He made this for your boy. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to We Fit Sports, man. Y'all take care of these folks, man. Like, they really doing it. But being all Diggie A2 fashion, we do shout outs at the end of the podcast. So, Miss Lady, who you shouting out? Who you want to see the show this week?
I just want to shout out, family, friends, our two sons. I want to shout out the regular people. Just the regular people that's just on their grind every day, day to day, just trying to be better. Not out here robbing, stealing, killing. I just want to shout out you guys. So.
All right, that's what's up. Mr. Tyrone.
Yeah, and there's multiple people we can shout out, but I want to give a shout out to the people who's hurting right now, who's missing somebody due to something or a death or a friend or a family member. Listen, it's gonna get better. So shout out to you who's listening, who's watching, who's hurting, who needs some knowledge. Listen to Diggie A2, man. They're putting some good stuff out there. So we appreciate everybody who's hurting. It's gonna get better. So
shout out to God.
Shout out to God.
yes.
Shout out to you all for having us on.
Oh, no doubt, man. Like, it's always fun. Like, I'm always having a good time. We up here drinking hen dog. We celebrate my boy's birthday. You know what I mean? Feeling good. But my shout outs, man, all I can think about is Thanksgiving and being thankful for the things that I have. My family, my health, having a good job, having people in my circle that I can trust and I can go to. And you know, it's just good to be around positive energy and positive people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just the simple things in life, right? You're not asking.
Simple.
None of those things cost money, right?
Right.
Not one thing I just mentioned. It costs a
Exactly.
dime, right? It's just having a positive influence on others as well too. So just thinking positive, and I can't wait to. By the time I'm watching this, I have my grandson in my arms, and it's just gonna feel so good, man,
Yay.
to see them, and really excited about that. And the other thing I want to mention before we wrap things up is one of these. So hey, look, y'all, this is a mask, right? So I know I'm gonna break some of you guys' hearts out there, but this could save your life, man, straight up. So just put the damn mask on, stop playing, all right?
Right.
Just stop.
Just
playing.
for a little bit. That's
For
all
a
they
little bit,
ask.
just put it on. It ain't gonna hurt you.
Right.
You already got it on anyway, right? So I mean, come on, y'all. Like this is a lifesaver, man. We going through
Right.
a global pandemic. Let me say that one more time. A global pandemic, right? So people out there dying and hurting, man, and you can save somebody's life with this right here, man.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
with all that being said, I want to give another quick shout out to. So we went out to an event last Saturday down in Wichita to a great probably one of the best hip hop events in the area that I think I went to. So shout out to everybody that performed that night, which would have been Johnny TGV, the Good Villain. Antidote, shout out to you, Antidote, my boy, man. I got to meet him. Nick Gibbs. Nick is a phenomenal talent. He's oh my god. I
Yeah,
can't
we
even
saw
describe
y'all on there turning up.
Nick,
Hey,
Nick Gibbs,
wish I
man.
was with
Hey,
you.
Nick Gibbs, he's my dude, man. Shout out to Alan Wayne. Alan Wayne's phenomenal talent, and shout out to my boy Unique Hustle Hard. I got you right here, homie. My boy, man. And also, I got to meet Jerry Robinson as well, too. So, from Strange Music. So, shout out to Jerry Robinson and his girlfriend. Really, really humble and cool people, man. So, shout out to you guys. And, Jerry, hopefully one day I'll have you on the show, man, and we can chop it up about your experience in the music business. But, other than that, that's all we got this week, you guys. Tune in next week. We're going to have... we'll have a good episode next week. I don't know who we're going to have yet, but we're talking about Funk Dr. Spock, and that is a.k.a. Redman, a.k.a. Reggie Noble next week. All right, so I'm ready to do that thing, but y'all be easy, be safe, 100. Peace.